Hey there, hello everybody. Welcome to the Inside Scoop with me and Oscar here again.
Hello there. How are you?
Ah, so damn this corona happening, eh?
Hey,
Good to be
what are you?
connected with you though.
Are you as well? Yes.
It's
I'm
a,
happy to be here again.
it's a bit different though, as you know, sitting in the studio face to face, seeing the person react, speaking to him. This is a bit.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. We could set up some thing
Oh
video.
yeah, right,
Yeah,
possibly.
maybe next
Anyway,
time.
yeah, we can do it for the next time. So, anyway, today's little topic would be about staying calm and composed in the face of terror, in the face of, even
Under
even
pressure.
this under pressure, yeah, or even this, virus or pandemic or whatever is happening around here.
Yes.
Oh man, how are you coping? Is all fine?
With the pandemic.
Yeah, with everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm getting used to sitting at home now. I've not been leaving for my bike a lot. I was just kind of focusing on the assignments, really, because we're running close to the deadline now.
Hmm.
Uh, but it is just, still leave to the shops as normal. I do feel like when I am at the shops, I should get all the things I need and not come out for another couple days.
Hmm.
I don't know how you feel about that, but
And I do my shopping like once
a
once a
week,
week or 2 weeks even.
really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I did get that powdered food solution thing,
Hmm.
and I got
Oh
some
yeah.
some meat last time we went to the shop because it literally was me and my flatmate. We put on the biggest backpacks we could find in our house, the biggest
Right.
everything. It took bags. I mean, we didn't go in and full panic mode, grab
Hmm.
everything, but we literally had like a list of things we need. So
Yeah.
most of the things like meat which we could freeze, any other foods, some snacks, just got them. And I mean,
Lovely.
yeah, because the trip to the store, it does take at least an hour to walk all the way down there and walk all the way up. Basically it takes an hour to commute, to
Yeah.
like spend another half an hour out there in the shop itself. It just takes a toll
Takes
on
a
you
while. Yeah.
psychologically too, because you're walking around, and we were walking with like scarves and something covering our mouths and stuff. They just I was with the hood as always, the casual thing, but
Hmm.
just hiding from it all because you never know. Like my parents said, look at everyone else as if they had the virus.
See, I
Because
do that.
hmm?
I kind of do now, and I just feel kind of stupid. Like I'm looking at everybody like they're gonna jump me.
Really, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
it is the
stupid.
right
Well,
way because you
silly.
you never know, man.
No,
There was
but
this
yeah,
experiment done. I watched. Was this experiment? Basically, they took some sort of a dye thing, which does not show up in the visible light. But once you shine black light on it, the UV or whatever, then you can see it. So they took that dust and sort of made an experiment, gathered like 30 children or so, and put some of those dust on like the teacher's hand. So she sort of chose like 10 children or 3 children, I don't remember now, to shake their hands when they're coming into class. And then on purpose, she didn't touch any of the other children. And they let them be in that room, play, draw, do anything, interact with each other. And then they sort of like took that light, walked around, shining everywhere, and filming the locations on where they found that shiny dust particles.
hmm
Dude, it was scary. It's sort of like visualizing germs.
yeah.
Oh man, if germs actually spread like that, dude, it's
Hmm.
scary. You never know. What if the person was passing by and then he touched the door handle and he just walked away, but you're opening the same door.
Yeah. Wash your hands when you get back home,
Oh yeah,
and
for sure. And then what we
stay
did,
safe.
we sanitized the door handles in our house. We
Oh yeah,
sanitized the light
that's
switches after that.
really.
Even some packets that we bought from the store. I mean, it does seem stupid, but better
Well,
safe than sorry when you think
yeah.
about it.
In a situation like this, especially, yeah.
Exactly. Like I don't know, man. This virus just, I mean, it changed everything, didn't it?
Ah,
Everyone's made to stay at home.
it's crazy.
And it even changed the weather for some reason.
Mm.
So while we didn't have this epidemic, we had the worst weather possible.
You're,
It's raining, it's cold, nasty. You don't want to go outside at all. We
yeah.
needed to commute to the lectures anyway, so you would just, deal with it.
Do you know what? I want to get all the bad weather now, and then when we're back to normal, have the sun. I think that would
Have
be
you seen
nice.
it rain in the past few weeks? I don't
Uh,
remember if it did.
I
Maybe
don't know,
once,
honestly.
but I literally don't remember it rain. Because I mean, the rain would be beneficial, I guess. You know, to wash it off. Plus, to have all that bad weather now, but it's just not. You know,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
it's
Well,
sad.
I do still go out on the bike to cycle sometimes now, so
Hmm.
it'd be nice to have nice weather. But at the same time, if I'm going to just stay home completely, I would want the nice weather for when we go back to normal.
Yeah. Uh, do you still go out, like
For
cycling and
shopping right
stuff?
now, mostly. Like I went out cycling, and then I got an earache. I get earaches quite often. It's not related to corona, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a respiratory, but I get earaches often, and I've got bad ears. Um, so yeah, I stopped cycling since then. I went out actually once when I needed to go to Tesco
Mm-hmm.
because I had like £8 of voucher or something when I did a shop over £40. So I went to Tesco and I tried to get a delivery first, but it was all booked up already for
Oh
the next
yeah,
3 weeks.
for sure.
So I was like, okay, I'll just jump on the bike. And I had my little, it's not a bandana, it's like a whole balaclava
Oh,
on. So it
dude.
looked as if I was trying to protect myself from coronavirus, but I normally just wear that anyway to when it in cold weather, because when you're on a bike and you're
Mm,
breathing heavily, it's not ideal, or at least for me, because I get ill then. But yeah, cover
scary
the
dude
ears and
on a
everything.
bike. Damn.
Yeah. I've not been stopped yet, like by police or anything, because I'm all like covered up from head to toes. But I'm in like cycling gear, so it doesn't look as sketchy, I
Mm,
guess.
dude. I mean, at least you don't have gas masks on and stuff. I
Well,
wonder how many people
w-
do actually go out there, you know,
wouldn't be
with
a bad
literally
idea,
gas masks.
Wouldn't be a bad idea, probably.
Theoretically, yeah. I was looking for respirators, but all of
Mhm.
the specialized shops online
Like I don't
are
actually
out of
know if it
stock.
does anything or what kind of grade that you need to stop it, but uh,
Yeah, like it has to be specific, the PPF 2, 3, either
yeah,
that or that. But
right.
like even covering, you see, in my mind, I was, you know, I'm covered with a scarf, I'm covered with, you know, this hoodie, everything. So, I mean, it may still pass through the cloth,
Mm,
but if someone sneezes or if someone coughs, the particles are still more likely to hit the cloth as opposed to, you know, just directly skin contact.
probably.
So I was thinking like, you know, it's if 99% of the virus passes through the cloth, it's still better than 100, you know?
Yeah, I'm not an expert, but yeah,
I mean,
maybe. Yeah, I think
mathematics, you
so.
know, it still does work towards, you know,
I mean, if a
the
little bit gets inside you, then I guess I don't know.
if you
Does it?
can prevent it, if you can stop it, if you can, you know, help yourself out, then it's just, you know, you got to take those precautions, you know, wash your
Yeah.
hands, everything. We were looking for soap actually, because honestly, it feels like at this time, this is like the legit the time when I need toilet paper and hand soap.
Hmm.
And it's literally because last time we bought hand soap was like half a year ago. So
Hmm.
it feels like, you know, we're given into this craze going into the shop looking for soap as everyone else, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, I just need it, you know, I just expect everything to be normal, and that's why
Right.
I wanted to talk briefly about this staying calm in situations like that today, where
Mm.
I mean, I'm fine, I know that it'll be fine, you know, people give into this panic, they buy everything off the shelves, but I don't think that this buy frenzy will keep going too long, because, you know, they'll
Hopefully
just
not.
fill up their cupboards with toilet paper, they'll just fill up their houses with everything they need, you know. And how much more can you get? God, there was this dude in the States,
Hmm.
he bought like he drove through every state and bought like 14,000 or so hand sanitizer bottles, trying to flip them on Amazon. But Amazon took his store down
Mm.
because he was abusing, well, he was basically abusing the system, where he just bought
Yeah.
it cheaper and then he just
Wow.
tried upselling it. And then he's left with like all of those huge boxes in his storage and he can't even sell them. And
Yeah.
then there was an interview and they're asking him like, "Oh, would you probably do something different now? Would you at least be sorry about it?" And there was like at least like 15 seconds of silence. That was like the most awkward
Mm.
silence in an interview history, dude. And he's like, I was like, okay, so he may reconsider it, but no, he looked at it and said, "No, no, I'd probably
No.
do exactly the same."
Well, I think it's
Oh,
situational, right? Because I don't think it's
dude,
actually illegal or whatever to upsell things like that. I think that happens all the
it's
time.
it's not
But
illegal to upsell. It's not illegal to go out and buy out the whole stock because you
no.
pay money for it. But it's just being an
Well,
idiot.
until you're a huge corporation and you can make it a monopoly, but yeah, no, like,
Yeah,
cause no,
that's
yeah.
literally just
So I
being
guess
an
it's
idiot, man.
situational. Yeah, well,
Some people abuse it. I don't know. Are you optimistic? Do you think it's gonna be fine? The whole situation.
I think it's going to be okay in the end. I think we're taking the measures to prevent it. I mean, anybody's hardly out there, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm trying to be. You just run to the shops.
yeah, I just ran to the shops because I've run out of liquids to drink, water,
Wait, what?
water, kefir,
Oh my god, dude. You got
and coconut water.
you got tap water.
I don't fucking drink that water, dude. Sorry for cussing, but I don't drink that water anymore.
Ooh.
I don't know. This building is old. Like, even if
Oh.
the water, like, generally around Scotland is good in
Mm-hmm.
taps, like, I don't know what's going on in the pipes of this building. I don't know if they're freaking asbestos or whatever, because you get
Mm.
asbestos pipes. I don't know if asbestos is still harmful like that. Maybe, I don't know,
Yeah.
um,
That's an interesting.
but I just don't know. It's an old building, right? So, and I would normally get the water from the library because I can fill it up there.
Mm-hmm.
But since that's closed, I have to buy water now in plastic bottles, and I don't like to do
Ooh.
that, but I have to. Well, I don't, but I'd rather do that than drink tap water right now.
That's an interesting one. That's something new. Have you considered any sort of filtering systems? Anything?
Yeah, well, my parents have some. We recently got, I think it was for Christmas, got a filtering system for like a little jar, not jar, jug,
Mm-hmm.
with a filter that you just pour water into
Yeah,
it,
sort
and
of
then,
pour and then it
yeah,
theoretically
and it filters it.
filters it. Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't. I was thinking about it recently, but Uh, I haven't
That's
decided.
interesting. Have you tried drinking it? Do you feel any
Have
sort
I
of
tried drinking
taste or
taste tap water?
yeah, the one in your house, yeah.
I mean, I have for a long time, but like when I used to not fill up, or if I didn't bother to fill up or forgot to fill up my water bottle at the library,
Mhm.
I'll just drink the tap water at home. But that's because of my own stupidity. Now I don't have a choice, so I'd rather go to the shop and buy the water. So,
Mm.
I think for this short period of time, like, the plastic bottles that I buy won't be that big of a deal. I mean, generally I try to keep that low, but
That's an interesting one. It's like an invisible enemy because you don't know
uh,
what's in your pipes, obviously, but
yeah, well, I don't trust it. you know.
damn, you trust
And
the
then
system?
like all the filtrations, there's so much choice online. I'm sure, like, picking the right one, picking one that actually works,
Oh yeah.
or filtrates actually what it is in your pipes that it needs to filter. Sorry.
Mm.
um you know 'cause there's different filters for different things, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's even the ones where you can literally go in the puddle,
Yeah,
scoop some water.
so that's probably the best one, but I don't know, maybe that doesn't work so well on hard metals or whatever they call them. Yeah, so, and I've tried to do some tests on the water in my house, but they just completely didn't work. I bought
Mm-hmm.
them on Amazon, like little strips that you just dip in the water and it's supposed to change into a different color and tell you, like, the chlorine content and other stuff.
Maybe
And
your water is good.
but it just didn't change color in any way. So I think they're just, like, bad or something.
Maybe the water's just fine.
Well, maybe, but they didn't change at all. So,
So that's perfect.
well, I don't know.
Gotta
Yeah.
read the reviews of that tester and
Well, no,
yeah.
I can't, it was a while ago now. I can't remember, but there was some like, level on the thing that it was supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
and the default, I don't think, was it. So, yeah, yeah.
That's an interesting one. I don't know. The thing is, I just never thought about that.
So, do you drink tap water then?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Straight out of there, man. And
I
I
mean,
live in the top floor.
in general, you probably be fine. But You know,
Dang, that's a conspiracy right here, dude.
don't need to take unnecessary risks.
I mean, my flatmate's drinking boiled water, so it's sort of like first
Boiled water tastes weird. Not gonna lie.
if you drink it warm, doesn't
Yeah,
fine,
but
but
mm,
my grandma used to do that. No, she always like, dude, thinking back to the times when I was small, she would always just I ask her for some water, she would always have this big jug of water which is just standing there in her kitchen. She would pour it from there. And I would always be weirded out, like why doesn't she, just drink? But I mean, she was a chemist, so
mm.
I'm like, I mean,
So maybe just boil it.
probably knows.
Yeah.
Boiling it, I mean, it kills the germs or
I
whatever.
mean, yeah,
It does help it out. So
there's the germs. I suppose there's other things though that aren't killed. Like,
I would assume, yeah,
yeah, but
that's
I don't
interesting.
know. We can talk about water forever, not knowing what we're talking about, but
We should call in an expert. Sadly, we
just gonna call my buddy to come in, expert on water.
Are there experts on water? There should be.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's experts on
No,
anything, man.
people that like design and work in water filtration facilities or whatever they're called.
Oh
Whatever that goes into
yeah,
our taps.
dude. When I was small, we did a little trip
Oh yeah,
with our
I'm sure you
class
did.
to the filtration facility there. Yeah, and the guy there was like presenting the mechanisms, the stair systems of the water falling, and it was just interesting. But he's like, well, we usually get complaints about people saying, how you're giving us like brown water, it's just like rusty
Well,
and stuff. And he's like, no, it's not. Like, come into our plant and see for yourself. It's fresh
mm,
water. However, your
yeah,
pipes may be
that's
rusty.
true.
So that's why
But
you're getting it. So
I
like,
mean, it's fair to make the
yeah,
complaints because there are situations where like whole communities have something weird going on with the water. I don't know,
yeah, for
like
sure.
I had experienced that, but in my hometown, that's happened a lot where the water was just kind of brown and it was for everybody, like in the
Mm,
town. So you know, it's good to raise concern, I think, but
yeah.
if that happens,
It's like back in the day, I've heard stories, my father too, of how they wouldn't have water at all. And it would be turned on only once. I think it's only once a day or once a week at a specific time.
hmm,
And it would be pouring at a such slow rate that it's hard to fill anything up during that time. But they would have to fill up the whole buckets, baths, even like anything they had with water because they're gonna shut it off again, and the water wouldn't be the best quality obviously because it just runs, it doesn't run often, so the pipes and everything is just we're
mm,
so fortunate, dude. I'm grateful.
yeah,
Current things that we have, holy, when you
just kind
think
of
about it
thinking,
all, man.
what we can title this episode.
Gonna be appreciate the water, appreciate the clear water in your tap, man.
uh, mm,
Pressure, yeah. So I mean, we were meant to talk about some
pressure,
pressure.
water pressure.
Water pressure, boom.
There we go.
I don't know. How do you deal with pressure?
I usually call the plumber.
In
uh,
situations of
Jesus. Pressure. Let me think of recent pressures.
or stress, anything. I know.
Think my way out of it, probably.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that
I
used to
suppose
be a
that's a good
thing.
way.
It's a way of doing things because I overthink stuff. I think too much.
Hmm.
Uh, and one way that's worked for me getting out of the situations is thinking to the point where I get lost in my thinking, to the point where I convince myself of something being true. That helps me move beyond whatever stress or pressure, right?
Hmm.
I was actually thinking about the determinism that we spoke about
Hmm.
before, and I was thinking how that can, I suppose, if you feel in your situation, and you're in a situation where you have done something and that you wish you hadn't done, and like you knew all along that you shouldn't have done that thing, but you did it anyway, or you didn't do something that you should have done. Like determinism can be kind of liberating in a sense that you can look back after kicking yourself for a while. You can look back and be like, okay, I couldn't have done anything that had to happen the way it did,
Hmm.
so I better just move on from that. Yeah, that's the same thing for that's like equivalent to people will tell you to just move on, like you can't change the past, basically.
Yeah.
And that's just this, that's true. I suppose. Yeah, I just want to. I
Living
don't know.
by the nature. I guess Taoism, and I keep coming back to this philosophy. Actually, keep
Taoism.
reading about it. Yeah, and how Lao Tzu, the prophet, the guy who yes established. I mean, it's hard to say because it was like so long time ago. But the person just says that you gotta live by the nature and sort of let nature happen by itself. And I even had this quote written on somewhere. I think it's even in my bio on Telegram, just at like the weirdest place. But it says, what does it say though? Can't I find it? Oh, that's an interesting one. Basically, nature. You click around to see. Oh, did they change something? Here we go. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. It's by Lao Tzu himself. So
Yeah.
the things that I learned from this philosophy is, well, nature knows best.
Yeah. Most of what we do is observe, and then we rationalize about it. I think,
Hmm.
like things happen, and we like to believe that how somehow our mentality or our rationality had a lot to do with it. But it was just our situation, environment, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, you should definitely still be rational, and
Hmm.
like you shouldn't stop thinking because of that,
No, no,
because
yeah,
that's
that's
that's also
the gift of
important.
ours. You know,
Yeah.
it's what differs us from what separates us
But I
from different
suppose
species.
for dealing with pressure, not kind of thinking about it, is not to go. And this is, I sent like a meme to you earlier. Not to be, not to ignore the pressure or to try to shove it away and like look at some, think about some more positive stuff,
Hmm.
and also not panic, right, about it. Like stay composed, basically, I
Yeah,
guess, and try to look at how you can solve it. And I mean, it's pretty obvious, but
yeah. Instead
yeah,
of emotionally reacting to what's happening or what happened, you're better off thinking about the cause or how you could solve it. Sort of detach yourself from the emotional situation when it's happening, but sort of start rationally thinking about long term, about maybe the past, on how you solved something similar in the past. Try to make comparisons. And
yeah,
yeah, I feel like I've grown a lot over the past like
sure,
few years in terms of handling stuff like that. Because we as men, especially, well, it's not trying to get any controver- controversial,
hmm,
as if to what a man or a woman should be in today's society, but we're looked at like the symbols of dealing with pressure. I mean, think back to the old ages, cavemen, when they used to go hunt and they had to, fight animals which are attacking their caves or anything.
yeah.
Just
I mean, I
men were
think
the fighters. They had to evaluate the situation and act upon it.
I think a way you can make this a little bit less controversial is by drawing attention to the suicide rates, which are higher amongst men nowadays, which is probably a pretty good reflection of the pressure.
Really?
Um, well,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
yeah, the thing that's been going around Facebook a lot recently,
Hmm.
and I'm sure you know what I'm talking
Yeah, I've seen it.
about the 75%. Is it 75% of suicides are men or something?
Yeah, yeah, something like
So
that.
I mean, yeah,
I've seen
I
it.
guess it's a reflection of that. And I feel, I mean, not to be turning this into a talk about mental health, but I feel we all the awareness that we try to raise, I guess, or therapy and stuff like that. I feel like that's kind of putting a bandage on the problem rather than attacking the cause, which is we live in a messed up system right now, which is leading people to suicide.
Yeah, all of that, and it's mostly men.
Um,
I mean, damn. Just in general, today's day and age, when you don't have to think about the basic necessities, the basic needs, people start thinking of ways to, I don't know, express themselves and everything.
mhm.
And then when they can't, when they fail at that, it's just become so much easier to get lost and just decide to, kill yourself because I don't
Yeah.
know why, dude.
Well, a lot of people don't know where they're going in life right now, I think.
Yeah, that's
Just everything is so, you know, there isn't a clear direction really anymore for a lot of people. I think that's one of the things. Not to be a psychological expert or anything, but
yeah. But I have discussed with a person and read a book. We read a book on legit suicides and how people decide that they want to end their lives, and what pushes them towards that. And it's a very complicated psychological subject, man. I don't even want to go into that because, like, damn, it's just hard. Like it's easy for me to just look at it and brush it off by saying, oh, the person's weak, they can't handle the pressure.
yeah.
There's so much more that goes in that.
Yeah, I think
um
a lot of it is a reflection of that is how polarized I think we are becoming
mhm,
with especially globalization of entertainment. Having these role models on like TV talk show hosts and stuff like that that are like the center of attention and stuff, and then on the opposite end, I suppose we have people that are isolated and stuff. Um,
yeah.
it's kind of interesting because the image that we kind of try to portray more and more, it's like talk show hosts have writing crews behind them that write jokes for them and stuff,
Hmm.
and like they can write like 200 jokes for them, and none of them can get accepted, and then out of all of those, like out of so many people that are writing these jokes, um, you select a bunch, and there's this one person that says them all or whatever, and
Mm.
that's kind of, and when you don't see what's behind that for a lot of people, the expectation kind of, I suppose, of how you should be as a person is a way higher than what it should be. And I mean that's it's been an issue for a long time. It's not necessarily an issue. It's an issue when it gets out of hand, I guess. And I think that's an example, but
Yeah,
of,
but that pressure is there. Like, even thinking about the Instagram beauty or whatever,
yeah. So for
where
women
girls,
especially, yeah,
because it's again, there's like a huge pressure on women now, as they look on Instagram and just think, my God, she's so pretty, blah blah. But you don't see 2 hours of makeup artists working on the person, or the person wearing like a heavy layer of makeup, or heavily editing their
yeah,
photos. All you see is this glam and beauty. But you just realize that, like, the more I start looking around, even I'm legit googling pictures of celebrities without makeup, just to realize that they're just literally people as everyone else.
hmm
Though they created this image, and
yeah.
everyone thinks that, oh, it's just, I'm just not pretty for that.
And you see,
No,
the
yeah,
problem
that's
the
the thing.
problem is that like a lot of us kind of see through that and don't care about it. But for those that I suppose don't see what's behind the scenes, uh, some of us don't consider it. Like for men, we're not going to look up Instagram models and care really much, but it's
Yeah.
a different thing for women, obviously. But even for, I don't know, I suppose if you know what's going on behind the scenes, it's not that much of a pressure. But for the people who don't know, and it's not like something weird. Like
Mm,
it's not that you're stupid because you don't know. Like if nobody tells you, you don't know, right?
yeah.
So it's not like, oh, you deserve this because you should have known. I know it's a mess, the polarization that we have right now. I think with the images that we're portraying in media that are so more and more extreme, the idolization of Hollywood superstars and stuff like that. Superstar footballers, all
Yeah, I
of that.
mean that's only showing the good side, the achievements, the awards, the honors, everything. But yeah, legit. Think back to how they started, and maybe look at what's behind the scenes. So I enjoy how people sometimes create vlogs and show around
hmm
their lives, especially these celebrities, when you're able to realize that they're just sort of normal people, but they were in this fortunate situation where, boom, now they're,
or unfortunate. Like I
or
mean, a lot
unfortunate.
of
Yeah,
great people
exactly.
come out. A lot of like famous great people come out of very difficult situations. So that's another thing.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
Or
like try
even kill themselves. There's
or
loads of celebrities
yeah,
killing themselves too.
you know,
Like, man, it's just like,
one of the things that makes
yeah.
people so high achieving is trying to fill some gap, in their life,
Hmm.
anywhere in any profession, I
Yeah.
guess.
And you think
Um,
it's everything comes down to the pressure that's being put on everyone else. That like if you were to try and fit yourself in there somewhere.
yeah, and there isn't a clear answer. Like we obviously enjoy to watch people perform at something they're good at, right? Like football, sports.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there is some kind of action we can take. We have to make a decision first of all on how badly do we want to fight, depression and suicide rates?
Mm-hmm.
Because the more polarized become, the more like out there crazy people we get that are very good at something and are very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're seeing, and I think these things are very closely related. I may not be right about this, but I think they're very closely related. We're seeing rise in depression and all of that, and it's other things as well. I think universities are particularly have a particularly high problem right now, and I can't pinpoint where it comes from, but I think the stats are there, which I'm meaning to look further into actually,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that's not my own bias.
Oh,
But yeah, I think it's true that universities have a big problem.
you think it's
with
because because students want to achieve best grades and everything, and it's getting
that.
hard
I
to
mean,
do
we're
that.
we're pushing like everybody into higher education right now, and it's just obviously not for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we have to make this drastic change now, um, like because obviously it's somebody decided that we need to get more people into higher education because more jobs are going to be there or something, right? Or more jobs are going to require people out of higher education. But and then so many people go to university that maybe aren't fit for it, or it isn't for them, or they're pressured into it because everybody goes to university nowadays.
Yeah, it's just a pressure, like, oh, your brother went, sister went, your friend went, now you have to go too.
But it's a trade-off we have to make. Like some, there's nobody to decide eventually. Like we're a self-correcting species, right? Or not a self-correct. Like the universe is self-correcting, and if we try to strive to survive as a species, we can't let the suicide rates get so out of hand that more people are dying than being born, basically. So
Hmm.
that's. But when we decide that action needs to be taken, I think somebody who's been really affected, that wants to make change, goes out there, and is very extremist about their ideas for what needs to be done. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer, obviously, but
All we have is questions. I encourage you to ask questions too. The more questions we have, the faster we can move towards progress. Because don't know how to ask good questions, then we're actually gonna be able to find any sort of answers. And we should be taught how to question in school. We should be taught on how to question everything. We even had an episode on questioning everything. You have to stay curious. Never stop. Never stop
yep,
going. And the pressure, yeah, just gotta handle it like a boss, dude.
yep.
But that's
Well,
also difficult for some people. It's difficult to say. Just do it. 'Cause
yeah,
that's what some people say. They ask, like, how do you deal with the situation? Just deal with it, and it's a fine and good answer because for the person, simple. Just deal with it because
yeah.
it's what you do.
Well,
But
for some people it's
yeah,
too much, and
for some people it's too much.
they just
Exactly.
can't take it.
It's a wrong
And it's
answer in
such
their
a
situation.
it's such an interesting thing because you might think because like pressure, suffering, and that is relative. So a lot of people like to point to I don't know children in Africa or something that are starving and like look at them, like look at where you are, like you're in a way better place. You shouldn't be complaining.
Hmm.
But we have like an invisible problem in the first world, which is depression, and like there's nothing to say one is worse than the other. And then the other thing is how do you know we're not all suffering the same, right? Well, some people are committing suicide, others aren't. That's like the best indicator that you have, I guess. So yeah, it is clear that some people have it harder than
Yeah.
others. Yeah.
We all live under the same sun. We're all connected in this universe. Some crazy stuff. We should talk about that once.
Hmm.
About
It's a
how,
good time to talk about it
yeah.
with all the stuff going about Facebook of raising awareness.
Hmm.
I'm curious what we're actually doing. But
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in this thing. It's a very good time for everyone to realize things, stop and think, think about what's happening around, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because start realizing that we're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more, you know, paper for me, paper for you know, me, you, whatever. It's we gotta share. We got it's like even as simple as freaking toilet paper. See people fighting for it. Like, what is that? Like, why?
Yeah.
It's like so
Well, there was
stupid, man.
actually a debate about that on a philosophy forum, so I can on Facebook philosophy page. So I wanted to tag you in it, but it's a private group, I think. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, so as I was saying about the self-correction thing as a species, that we want to survive, so we have to self-correct over time. Actually, I guess we're seeing it with people sharing the posts on Facebook, trying to draw attention to the problem. Like it's a small thing, but I guess that's a start, and that's showing that there is a problem. So yeah, I guess suppose when as a society we decide, okay, it's getting out of hand, like the numbers are big, we start to nowadays raise awareness on Facebook or whatever.
Hmm.
So that's in one sense, yeah.
Yeah, in another sense, we're self-correcting. So
Yeah,
there's
well,
loads
yeah.
of idiots in our today's society, and then boom, this corona happening, people started dying off, you know. It is a
Yeah.
controversial question, but do you think that, you know,
That the self-grown is self-correcting nature, or
self-correcting
well,
nature?
it's no, it definitely is. I mean, it's doing its thing. There's a constant battle between all organisms on Earth for survival.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Or at least, you know, there's just loads of people, an
like
immense
just the
population,
fact,
and maybe
maybe
it's trying to overcorrect for like
maybe
lowering
there's
population
something
or something.
like
I don't know.
maybe there's something about us being so connected that's not good for us, because people are traveling all over the world, and that's essentially
Mm.
how it spreads so quickly, right? Maybe it's
It's also like a wake up call. Cut down on the plane flights and everything.
yeah. So yeah,
Because you
so
start realizing how many fly. Because I never actually thought. I was like, you know, whenever I'm flying with a plane, I just, you know, hop on a plane and fly. That's it. Never thought of how many flights do happen, how much fuel that is, how much pollution that is, how much
mhm,
noise, how much everything, you know? And it just
yeah,
starts, and you just now start to realize that people from random small countries, apparently they were in Wuhan during that period, you know, and then they flew there, then they flew there. Like, start to realize how many flights are happening, and it is nice, you know, it is nice to be able to be connected and have businessmen being able to travel the world
mhm,
to meetings and then back and forth. But we have internet, we should be able to come up with something easier on the
yeah.
nature.
Yeah, well, I don't think we should be stopping people from flying, but I think we should definitely go more green with our energy that we used to.
Yeah,
So,
cut back on it a little bit. Some
yeah,
unnecessary thing. It's like, you know how those meetings or emails, how those like meetings in corporate environments where you gather in a meeting every day and there's not loads of stuff happening, so it's basically like a
yeah,
waste of time.
yeah,
So, for example, you know, having a person fly to another place to evaluate the situation of a company or whatever, you know, it's just talking about those like consultant businesses or whatever, where they restructure businesses. Obviously, you know, meetings are not going to go away,
nope,
but try and put them online somehow. Like, as much as possible, just accept that. Because now, that's it. We've come to a point where you just can't fly to a meeting. That's, you know, that's it.
nope,
Basically, you're forced to do that. And if this proves that we're able to do it, then
nope.
why not to
Here's
try
a
and keep it this way?
here's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, I love some juicy conspiracy theories.
Well, no, that's it. Like we're trying to
Oh, we
get us to
just created
move
one.
to use, yeah, trying to get us
Ooh.
to move to use online communication more with the I don't know, with the 5G thing. And
So that everyone could watch over our every single
oh
action.
yes, that's
And
definitely it. I mean,
s-
I mean that's plausible.
God, dude,
uh,
that's crazy. Oh, pressure put on everyone, but you have to
yeah.
stay calm. Have to breathe in, breathe out, do some box breathing or something.
What
So
happened there?
I was putting an AFK channel. You do some box breathing. You breathe in, breathe out. You chill. Just, you know, for handling the pressure.
Mhm.
It helps. Breathing helps, and just staying aware and conscious of your breathing could be the
Yeah.
way to start and solve situations, any sort of situation. So that's my tip of the day.
Yep.
Literally. Stop, breathe in, breathe out, and then act. Then think about it. Because it's so simple. It's as simple as that, in any sort of situation. Well, obviously, if you're driving a car and then you see some situation which is avoidable and there's like a car crash
Breathe in,
incoming or
breathe
something.
out.
Yeah. And if you see that there's a possibility for you to avoid it, then obviously
Yep.
don't don't stop. But in a sense where in everyday life, any situation is put in front of you, breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah.
Think about
Staying
it for
composed.
yeah, exactly. And breathing in, that's it. All you need. Once you do that, you then realize what's happening around yourself because
Mm.
you're bringing the awareness back to the body. And this is a trigger for you to reboot your mind and to maybe rethink some things and then maybe even act differently as if you were to act on an impulse. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that's bad. I like impulsiveness. Some things are best done impulsively. So you do have to have that balance. But in terms of
Yeah.
stress, dude, we're probably gonna end our episode with that today.
Yeah.
With I don't know, breathe in, breathe out, and keep
You know,
calm. What's the
stop to think about what you need to do. Well, another thing, I guess if you want to finish with that, but another thing I heard recently, I think it was from Jordan Peterson, was to, maybe it wasn't, but to take do not, I guess you've got some kind of goal to work towards to, but what you should probably do is think of the actions you can take to move you towards it, because you don't really know what your goal is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might have some sort of, be imagining something, this is what I want long term.
Yeah.
But it's maybe best to take it a day at a time, doing some kind of having some set of things that you do every day that you think is going to move you towards to what you think you want.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying, am I work? I don't know. This
Yeah,
go on.
and my solution on this is a Tarzan method.
Yeah,
You know what Tarzan does if he wants to get from one side of the jungle to the other? There's nothing else he can do than just to grab a vine.
yeah,
He grabs a vine, swings, hops off, finds himself on a different tree, thinks, oh, I'm closer to my goal. Grabs another vine, swings, finds himself even closer to the goal.
Yeah.
Grabs the third one, boom, now he's back at where he started, like, oh, well, it's I guess, wrong vine, just I have to go again. And keep going, and your path may be zigzags, your path may be back and forth. Eventually you will reach the goal sometime. Even if it's not in your lifetime, you will at least know that you've strived for it, That's my best advice. Like, I myself motivate myself on that. Like, even if I'm not there by the time my life ends, at least I've tried and did my best I can. Always trying to be the best version of myself, be better than tomorrow, than yesterday. Not every day, but always try to be nice, and being nice to people, dude. This what was the one of the later Joe Rogan podcasts? The guy, they were spreading some conspiracy about Corona killing racist people and idiots and mean people.
Yeah.
Did you hear that one?
Yeah, I was
like, imagine there being some sort of a gene which targets idiots.
Well,
and racist mean people.
Yeah.
Dude. Because
I think,
I don't know.
it doesn't have to be a gene. I don't think those people are in a very advantageous position nowadays. I think society is doing that.
Allowing them to be this way. Is that what
not
you mean?
allowing them, actually. Not allowing them to be this way. More
Not
than
allowing
ever.
them to be mean. What do you mean?
Not allowing people to be racist more than ever.
Yeah.
It's becoming, very unacceptable to be racist, which
comes from within, though. Some people are just literally mean.
Well, no, I think some people have, maybe from older times when it wasn't so socially unacceptable to be racist or whatever. But I don't know, people like to say we're becoming more enlightened. I don't really think about it that way. For me, it's just we're becoming different. Whether we're becoming more enlightened or not, I don't know. Whatever that's supposed to mean. But yeah, like, we're better off, obviously, not being racist. So so we don't need some kind of. It's an interesting idea to have some kind of virus to take out racist people. But
oh my god, that would be I would
We're doing
love
that
that.
as a society. I think we're killing racism. So
We're trying.
yeah,
Yeah, as nature knows best, then society sort of tries to. Yeah, I like the word that you use, sort of self-correct.
self-regulate, self-correct. Yeah,
Self-regulate. Yeah. So slowly, it's coming to where everyone's hopefully gonna feel comfortable being around everyone else. Living in this one
absolutely.
beautiful society. Oh, yeah, am I speaking like a socialist or something?
Yeah, I don't know. As long as you don't try to enforce communism or whatever, you're fine.
Oh man.
Yeah. Do you want to finish on what you wanted to finish on?
Yeah, that's going to be
Breathing it in
stop.
and out.
Yeah.
Stop.
Stop. Breathe in, breathe out, and go. And
Yeah.
let go.
Meditation, huh?
Yeah? Breathing.
Stop to think.
Breathing.
Stay
All we need.
composed.
All we need. Exactly. Ooh.
There's an interesting thing. Like, we were supposed to finish, but I just want to bring it up. Pronoia. I don't know if you've heard of pronoia.
No.
It's the belief that the world or the universe is plotting for your benefit, not against you.
Oh.
So, like, you've got paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
Pronoia is like the opposite. And I've experienced this myself when, like, in really good times, when I was like, anything that happened, I was like, I could see the positive in it, and I was like, this is going to benefit me in the long run. And essentially, like, since you're growing all the time, from mistakes, and from learning from those mistakes and applying what you've learned,
I
it's the
still think
mindset.
that, though.
It's a mindset, thing.
It's a good one. I still think that, actually.
Pronoia. Yeah, apparently it's got a name. It was on Joe Rogan that it was mentioned. So
That's an interesting
that's a
one. Yeah, I think I sort of not necessarily have the thinking or whatever, but I do notice some things that whatever happens around, just again, as I'm into Taoism and the action of letting go things, of the art of letting go, the art of giving control to something else, which is nature or whatever the other forces are. And I've just for now, I still feel like everything's going the way I want it to go.
Yep.
Even this, epidemic thing. Well, now we're forcefully meant to stay at home. However, I've always wanted to produce more content, to produce higher quality content, to maybe make a game, which I'm currently working on, to make anything with more intention. So now it's the right time for me to cut from everything else, because it's just been every day you gotta go to the lectures, you gotta go to the labs, you gotta do this, gotta do that, blah blah, and now everything just stopped, sort of frozen time, and we have this huge time bank every day which we can choose how to
Yeah.
use.
And if you don't know how to, that's sad. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
I
you
don't know
have
what to
to.
do.
Yeah, well, obviously, you have to keep learning, keep growing, and keep looking into the ways of how you could improve yourself. I'm not saying that don't want to spread this Instagram glam culture on everyone, but I'm not saying that I'm using up my time well. Like
Mm.
2 days ago, I went to sleep at 5 a.m. playing games.
Mm.
Literally haven't done anything else, any single thing that day, just played games. However, I sort of tried to like reboot, wake up in the morning and see like, oh, that wasn't the best use of my time,
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you need that,
Yeah.
you need reminders or anything, just put them on your wall, just take a note, write it down, say something along the lines of try use your time best, or whatever, whatever helps you.
Mm.
And literally just, try using up your time that you currently have to do what you always wanted.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
obviously it's harder for some people because they may need to find ways to live on, find ways to sustain themselves, because like
Yeah.
with wages being cut and stuff, yeah, you
Yeah.
can spend time on even online work.
Yeah.
There is opportunities. Just
I think this is going to this whole pandemic thing, that people not being able to work, it's going to open people's eyes up that save money, have some money put away,
mm,
ready for a situation like this, and then like ration your food. Like, don't eat crazy, don't eat takeout, whatever. Save as much money as you can in that time.
yeah, it
But
is a reboot. It is. I want to end an episode on this as we approach an hour mark on
oh, Whoa.
So just as we said in the base conflict, stress, terror, anything that's being thrown your way, just the same, the world is currently stopping, breathing in, breathing out, and then starting to think and act on what happened. So
Yeah,
I guess
I'll
that's
let
we
you
close
finish
it.
this time.
I guess that's how we'll close it today.
That's
So
good.
stop, breathe in, breathe out, think and act. A sequence of events.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks Oscar for being here, and see y'all later.
Thank you.